We're in Nuneaton in Warwickshire. This is a Tory seat right now, a majority of a fraction over 2,000, but very much a target Labour seat, according to some analyses, about target number 38 on Labour's hit list. Let's introduce you to the incumbent MP, Marcus Jones. He's the Conservative MP. Vicky Fowler is his Labour challenger. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Marcus, let's start with you as the incumbent. You've got double trouble, haven't you, really? You've got UKIP standing this time. They didn't stand in 2010. That's a real problem. Your other problem is that in 2010, the Liberal Democrats polled 6,800 votes, a lot of whom are about to go and vote for her.
Well, I think you need to look at the issues and the reasons why people are turning to other parties. And I think one of the major issues in an area like this is immigration. We don't have a problem with immigration here, but there's a concern about it. Labour completely failed and immigration was uncontrolled. Immigration from outside the EU has now been brought down to levels last seen in the 1990s by the current Conservative government, and having a proper negotiation with the EU and then an EU referendum, I'm sure will please a number of the people who were thinking about voting UKIP, and I'm sure we'll be able to get back to the Conservatives.
You talk about people thinking about voting UKIP. Vicky, that is potentially a problem for Labour as well. I mean, we saw that up north recently in the by-election not so very long ago. You squeaked home by 600-odd votes in the face of a substantial UKIP threat. There are council estates in this constituency where what we, I suppose, now call the white working class are unhappy about immigration. How do you answer their problems, their qualms? What do you say to them on the doorsteps?
Well, if you look, at the local elections last year, actually Labour gained a number of seats from the Conservative Party, and whilst UKIP did poll a good number of votes, I think people were voting for UKIP based on the fact that they're worried about jobs, they're worried about the future of the economy, making sure it's fair for everyone. And actually that's why Labour are sort of putting forward the policies that they are, because they're the kind of voters that we need to win back.
What do you think, Marcus, about UKIP? Was it your leader who said they are, quote, gadflies, fruitcakes, clowns and racists?
Well, I'm knocking on a lot of doors here in Nuneaton, and I certainly would describe people as having concerns rather than making things personal. And I think we really need to address those concerns and also make it very clear to the public that there's only going to be one of two people in number 10 after the general election, and that will be either Ed Miliband, who offers extremely weak and ineffective leadership, who will cause chaos, or it will be David Cameron, who is strong. He's been a strong leader over an extremely difficult time that the country's been through, and he's got a long-term plan to actually address many of the economic issues and many of people's concerns that they have.
Vicky, let's go back to some of those council estates we were just talking about. Do people mention Emily Thornberry ever when you go campaigning? Former Shadow Attorney General, Solicitor General, Attorney General, forgive me, who tweeted a picture of a white van outside a house decked in St George's crosses, and she was seen as poking fun at the core votes, at the white working class. Does that ever come up? And even if it doesn't, what do you think of it? Was she right to resign?
It doesn't come up. In fact, what people are telling me is that they're worried about the future of the NHS.
I know what you're about to say about the future of the NHS.
Yep.
Was she right to resign?
Look, that was for Emily to decide, and that's her decision at the end of the day, and what she's done, is done. I think what matters is now going forward, looking at the next general election, looking at the issues that people are talking about, and showing people that actually what Ed's talking about are the issues that matter to them.
Just one final thought, Vicky. You are 24. And there are some people who say, look, what we need in Parliament are people who've got life experience, they've been around the block, they've got a few miles on the clock, etc., etc. To which you say,
there's so many young people out there that are really excited about the fact that we've got young people involved in politics, but there's people of all ages and all backgrounds that want a new vision for the country, and they see that with the Labour Party.
Vicky Fowler, Marcus Jones, best of luck. One of you is probably going to win, I think. Lovely talking to you. Thanks ever so much. Always lovely, actually, when you come on the stump, you come on a campaign, you come to a constituency, and you find that the candidates actually have a shared love of politics, which transcends the fact that they obviously clearly want to beat the other person. Wonderful to see.